Finding the routes plotted on paper maps and keeping an eye out for orange cones, photographer Whitney Hill and I are searching for screwed up sidewalks, construction messes, and stuff you could trip over or fall into on the parade route. We're going to start in Mid-City, where the Krewe of Endymion will roll in just a matter of days. So far, so good down Orleans Avenue and Carrollton, until we get to this mess. South Scott is torn up on both sides of Canal. Roadwork NOLA says this project won't be finished until at least April. And just a handful of blocks down at Norman C. Francis, this huge bump will have us hoping float riders are wearing their harnesses. The Department of Public Works tells us these issues should be fixed by Mardi Gras Day. Our next buzzer buster came at Canal and St. Charles, where the sidewalk is closed for construction. And down on Tchoupitoulas and Poydras, as crews would be making their way to the convention center, there's scaffolding, pallets, trash, and other construction equipment all over the sidewalk. Now, onto the uptown route, starting with Toth and buzzer number 5. It's what appears to be a half-speed bump that's no longer painted and is giving traffic a bumpy ride at Henry Clay and Constance. Constance and Napoleon, where Bacchus will begin, also has this mangled signpost sticking out of the neutral ground. And with that, we're onto the main St. Charles Avenue route, and right away we spotted these wires sticking out of a streetlight base on the neutral ground at Milan. And this cone literally bolted in place, which I guess is like a little safer than the wires. A few streets over, we've got this dirt lump with a cone on it. Further down on St. Charles at First Street, we've got this torn up sidewalk. And at St. Andrew, this closed sidewalk and pile of construction stuff around a tree. A few blocks down near Avenue Pub, a construction cone and electrical box that looks worse than when we first noticed it last year. And nearby, this cone is stuck into a deep pothole, and we actually watched a car run it over. But hey, we will give credit where it's due. Last Mardi Gras, this Burger King was being held up by stilts, and now it is looking much better. Most of the issues we found last year have been fixed, including this giant hole that was right in the middle of the St. Charles Avenue sidewalk in the CBD. Now on to the Zulu route. Jackson Street in Clara has some cones without a cause. And fast forward to the end of the Zulu route, where things get messy. Wires out of the ground at Orleans and Derbany. Sidewalks ripped up at Orleans and Prieur. And then we got to Orleans and Rocheblave, just 2 blocks from the end of the Zulu route, and we found this, a gigantic hole with an exposed pipe full of garbage and full of debris. That project extends to North Dorgenwa, 1 block up. DPW says the project is on an extended deadline and will be secured ahead of parades. If you're keeping count, that was 18 buzzers, 18 potential hazards or potential lawsuits as thousands flock to the sidewalk side or the neutral ground side. And when the tractors start rolling down the avenue, one of the city's biggest economic drivers will have to steer clear of bumps in the road.